So, welcome back to the update video. This time a big one. We will talk about will AMC squeeze next week. Same for will GME squeeze next week. What is BYND doing, and is Trump media now going up? If you're interested, just stay tuned. As always, I'm using the Fractal Method. I will link the step-by-step video at the end of the video, or you just search for the Fractal Method playlist on my channel. So, let's start with AMC. So, today, the full story. I also cleaned up the chart. I only let the micro tracking at the end because we don't have to talk about the micro tracking in these little landmarks because nobody cares. So, for the completely overview, AMC is a megaphone in a megaphone pattern. Of course, we touched it at IPO. We came close to it in 2024. We went up. Of course, we touched it at the upper trend line. We knifed down. We touched it in 2024 again. And we came close to it right now. So it's not far-fetched to say our next target is the upper trend line. If it is a one-part or a two-part squeeze, I'm still the opinion it will be a two-part one. Simple fact why is I'm tracking 2020 and 2021. In my opinion, most people who are saying it will be a one-part squeeze, they most of the time are showing you 2024 May or 2025. And also, they were all saying we get our bottom and squeeze from there. So that wasn't already true. Yeah. I mean, if we're doing a one-part squeeze, fine, everyone is happy. I'm still the opinion, if we do one-part squeeze, it's very likely you will squeeze, but you won't break this trend line. So your highest target would be $10, $11-ish. Then you will find a new all-time low. And then, most likely, in 1 or 2 years, you have the next chance. Yeah. Why? Just because this fractal is finished here. If it's now or in 1 or 2 months, doesn't matter. It's here. Here, it clearly wasn't finished. And it wasn't clearly finished in 2025. If we would have finished back then, we would already be up here. We clearly aren't. So, no. Okay. So, what are the targets for first one and second one? You just look at 2020. We did our V. We broke out of the trend line. We made our peak. And we fell back and break out retest. Of course, you can now say, yeah, it depends how you draw your trend line, right? But you could also take your fib from the bottom to the top, and it's nearly perfect a 0.618 fib pullback. So if you would do that now, right now, and if January 8 was the bottom, you take your fib, it would be February, and then you just look where you want to go. So it's not far-fetched to say you would go up here. I still say 165 to 100-ish. You will very quick knife down, the same like you did in 2021, to your 0.5, which is then around $8, which is also a perfect breakout retest. You will do this sideways bullshit, and then you will go up to your C, which is something around here. Just saying one thing. I mean, whenever you are selling is absolutely your decision. But the fractal is always repeating itself. But in the repetition, it gets always, or let's say 99% of the time, bigger and slower. Yeah? So in 2020, from the pullback of A to our all-time high, it took 109 days. Yeah? So I would imagine at least that this part would take 200 days. Just saying. Yeah. I mean, of course, in the best case, you do that now in February, pull back, and then in June. I just don't think that. I believe this could take way longer. So even with shares, be careful. If you want to sell this year, or if you really want to sit this out. With contracts, I wouldn't sit it out. Just saying. Yeah. Okay. Now let's jump into it, what we did in the last 2 weeks. So this time, so there are really no misunderstandings. I still have my 3 versions, but I will show them one after another. So there are really no misunderstandings. So we will start with version 1, which for me is the unlikeliest one, most unlikeliest one. It's just the quickest one. That means that January 8 wasn't our bottom. Most likely we will start next week to fall to make a new all-time low. I would say something around our trend line, our megaphone trend line, around 33, 1.28. I don't think it will drop under $1. And then you still have to do the whole higher low, maybe the channel, and then you can go. Just saying, for time-wise, if we started on Monday, there's still a chance for February. Okay, now version 2. So, version 2, I would say I really would like the most. That would mean on Monday or next week, we fall back under our 1.51 mark, because that would mean that this whole thing is just our higher low. And why 151? Because if you take from your bottom to your peak, the fib retracement, it's this 0.786. You bounce here. In that case, if you already do that on Monday, perfect. Yeah. Then you bounce at this level, you go up. This would be your channel or your 0.5 hump or just your A, whatever you call it. I would think you won't break $2. Then you take again your fib from your low to your peak, go back to a 0.5, you bounce here on the trend line, and then you squeeze. This would be the absolute perfect versions. Because if you go down, bounce here and go up, and coming down here, in my opinion, we know to 99% the next move is the squeeze. Yeah? The third version is the one I absolutely don't like. So here the third version. So that would mean that we will go up on Monday. There is no downside anymore. We would go up on Monday. We have to go a little bit 5-10 cents over our last peak. This would be our B. Then we take the fib from our bottom to our peak. Yeah, perfect. 0.5 pullback, breakout retest. Again, we would go up, most likely not breaking $2. This would be again our A. We would again do a 0.5. But here's the stupid part. Because if we're coming back here, then in my opinion, it's 50-50. It's 50-50 we squeeze, or this whole thing is not A. This whole thing would be then higher low. And we still have to come down to 151. And if we're doing that shit, I would imagine, depends how quick we are, but the danger that it's not February and it's May, April again starts getting very high. Yeah? And why? The problem is, if we're going up from here and not doing our V under A, then this is the only higher low we have. And if I zoom out on the 24-hour chart, that's nothing. This, you don't even see it. So, yeah, I only have once in the lifetime of AMC a place where this happened. I will show that in a second. And the second very stupid bearish part is what we did since Wednesday. If you look at this, bottom, double bottom, triple bottom. AMC doesn't like double buttons, and it really doesn't like triple buttons. That's no landmark. Yeah. And also, you have to say, I'm always saying all your letters, your L, your M, and your T, they are starting at a point, they go up, make their peak, and they are only finished when they are lower where it started. So we didn't even finish this landmark yet. So, okay, so now for the side by side. So, left side is now, right side is April 2024. And that's the only place where I found a triple button on AMC, where something happened afterwards. Because if you look here on April 18, first bottom, April 17, second bottom, and also April 17, the third button. That's a triple button. Yeah? And you could easily say, yeah, here wasn't a higher low either, because it was just upside. So that's the only version I could say there's a chance. But even then, first of all, we are not in May. Second, you didn't squeeze off this bottom either. Yeah? You made your A, B, and C. Same landmark. You pulled back to a 0.6. You did a little higher low, and then you go. So back then, this took us 24 days. Yeah? So even if we're doing the same shit again, and we are saying it will take 24 days, yeah, and we have to go the higher time frame. So even then, we're saying from here, 24 days brings us, yeah, mid-February. The dangerous part about this is, I mean, if you do it perfect, if we really now doing the same movement like May, as I showed before, we really can only hope that we jump over the 13 landmark with a gap. Because if we're doing this one part squeeze, the danger that we are rejecting $10 is fucking high. Just saying. But these are the three versions. And as already said, this price action this week was bullshit. I expected far more, especially for the short week. Or at least before market close, we were 4 cents away. You have to imagine that. 4 cents away so we could get our VNA. Oh, but okay. Good. Next one is GME. So this is really the completely 1 weekly far out look. So from IPO till April 2020 was just our high low. the squeeze in March, April 2020 was just our A. Till April 2024, this was just the A pullback, which also, again, was quite a perfect 0.5 pullback, as A is normally doing. And since April 2024 till today, we are just doing higher low of the A. So whenever we are finished in a VM, whenever we are going, what is our next target? Well, it's just our B. Yeah, that means we would go up here. I'm still the opinion we won't break this trend line, maybe a little bit like we did in 2007 and 2008, but not 5,000 or some bullshit like that. Something around 400 to 300, because it's only B. So after that, you take 0.5 from your A bottom to your B peak. This is your pullback target after that. So around 60. Then you still have to do your C. And your C can be at 5,000 and so on. But again, the move to B up will be very quick. The move down, the pullback of A took you what? 3-4 years? Pullback of B, maybe the same or even longer. Just saying, I wouldn't hold through that pullback. Okay, so now we look closely what we have done. So here the zoomed in version. For this, I only have 2 versions, and I know everyone is hyped up because Ryan Cohen bought, what, 500,000 shares or something like that. But just saying, there's also already a narrative written for the bearish version, and that means that GameStop already are minus, what was it, 60 million because of Bitcoin dropping. So there's always a bearish news too, yeah? If you only track MIF news. So again, like AMC, I will show both versions separately so there are no misunderstandings. So we start with the bullish version, with version 1. And that only means you're finished. Yeah. So that only means that November 21st was your V. Technically, it is possible because T started here and ended here. December 31st was your higher low, because here also was under this 0.786. We even added a little higher low, and in that case we break this trend line and we go up. Still, I am the opinion you will go up to 28.30-ish dollars. This would be your A. Then you take from your low to the top of your A, 0.5 or 0.618, breakout retest, and then you squeeze. Also, in that time, AMC would be also ready and finished and go. One additional thing to this is, because I already heard or someone asked me, yeah, when GME goes up, AMC can't go down. Or if AMC goes up, GME also has to go up. In my opinion, look at the chart. That's not right. What is right is that when AMC and GME are doing their big runs, their squeezes, they run together. When AMC is in the time between these moves, they are not synced up. So GME can go up and AMC can go down, and the other way around. Only at this point here, both would break out. Yeah. Because otherwise, they would have both the same chart. They don't. Yeah. They have to both, they are running together with the big moves. Yeah. But in between, Yeah. Okay. Now to version 2. And I'm still leaning to it. I know I said in the last video I expected the move already this week or last week. It didn't happen. Was a banger. But I'm still in the opinion we will reject here. I'm still the opinion we go down to 70.50, doing higher low, and then we squeeze. We will see. In that case, we will see. And I think we will get our answer on Monday. If you go on Monday just up, this version is dead. Really. Then it's dead. If you're already creeping down, because this would be just already the lower high, I tell you, we go down. And then you can only hope we do this fucking quick. Just saying. Because if we slowly grinding down here, February, March, May is off the table. Then it's April. Also, for comparison, this isn't the first time this happened. Again. So left is now and right is 2024. And here also, we had a massive candle over 2-3 days. And we topped out. Massive candle. And we topped out. Also here, you had the top. You went lower. You come up again. Or also here, everyone cheered. Haha. You're not dropping. Knife. Same as here. Went up. Went down. Up again. Everyone is cheering right now. Haha. We don't go down. Let's see what happens Monday. But again, if you go up from here, perfect. Version 1. If you go down, version 2. Both versions are still bullish. Both versions would mean, in the best case, mid-end February. In the worst case, April. Nothing, none of these are bearish. It's just a difference between time. Okay? Good. Next one is BYND. Here also the full story. I tried to clean up the chart. Only problem is I can't clean up this because I need that to show that. So for BYND started its IPO in the run from B to its C. When AMC and GME squoze, BYND just did its lower peak and then it fell. I think still, let's say 98% confident that October 16 was our absolute low. And since then, we're just doing higher low. Whenever this is finished, our next price is still our A near the T-line, around $30 to $15. Breakout A. I don't think we will come down that far, but the 0.5 pullback should be okay. Then to our B, 0.5 pullback, and then the only question is, are we breaking all-time highs or not? The only shitty thing about BYND is we don't know how A and B is looking. Because, for example, on AMC, we absolutely know how is the run to A looking, how is the run to B looking. Same for GME. In BYND, we didn't see that because the IPO was here. We don't see B, we don't see A. The only thing we see is how quick the higher low was. So in the best case, we're repeating the move from the higher low as A. That would mean straight up. Or we have to do a little A, a little B, a little C, which is then our A. We will see. I still think that our A landmark, March, May-ish, I would say. Okay. Then let's zoom in. So here the zoomed in version. Here also I have 3 versions. And again, I will show all 3 separately. So we start with version 1. That's the most bearish one and the shortest one. And that means only one thing. That since October till today and the next 1 or 2 weeks, this whole thing is higher low. And that means that this isn't a higher low, that this peak was just here. In that case, you still have your T started here. So to finish this T, you have to come still lower than 97 cents. No, 79 cents. Under 80 cents. You still have to come lower than 80 cents. And the thing is, you still have this gap here open from 80 cents to 66 cents. So if you're doing that, in my opinion, you will gap fill to 66 cents. Yeah? Not seeing that yet, but as an alternative, it's still there. Okay. Now version 2 means from October 16 till Friday, November 21st, this is our finished higher low. Perfect. It's even, 0.7, but I really should learn this. 0.786 pip retracement. Perfect. And since then, we just made another micro higher low. So from November 31st till December 31st, interesting part is the same like GME is doing. This is just a little micro higher low. Also this just finished under the 0.768, but it's a V&A. Still perfect, still a higher low. So the only thing right now, what did we do since then? That's the only question. So, in the best case, in the best case, this is a higher low. Your T would be here. You finished this higher low here. It's kind of wonky. This is just a micro higher low, and from Monday on, you go up. The other version would still be this whole thing is a micro higher low, but it isn't finished. Especially if you look at this T, it's not lower where it started. In that case, you would still have to come lower than 86 cents. This would be a V&A. So in my opinion, it would be 85 cents. You bounce here and you're ready to go. I mean, that's a difference of what? 15 cents? That's nothing. I mean, okay, it's 7%, but I mean, yeah, who cares? As long as you stay, in my opinion, over 83 cents, you're ready to go. Up we go. I still the opinion this would be finished in. Do you have a chance for February or March and May? But also this thing looks fucking great and finished. Whatever news we get, this looks good. Because it's beyond 4 levels. Why ever you go over $1.01, bullish. If you break $1.10, very bullish. If you go over 125, there is no downside alternative anymore. End of story. For the downside, if you go under 90 cents, I think you will do your V&A at 85 cents. And if you're not bouncing here and you're breaking under 81 cents, you will fill the gap at 66 cents. Yeah. So these landmarks and these price targets and levels are pretty clear. Let's see what it's doing. Okay. Next and last one is DJT. So DJT, it's in my opinion, just a really perfect and beautiful fractal to track. So for DJT, in my opinion, it started its IPO in its higher low. Then in this massive candle, you just have your A and B. You did your C in 2020, but in October. So it, in my opinion, it has no correlation to AMC and GME. Then you made your massive L, lower high, because the L was finished in May 2023. Then you did your massive M, which was finished in 2024. Then you made your massive T. And in my opinion, you got your V on November 21st. Again. Yeah. And then we zoom into it. So what happens next before we go into the micro tracking? We still didn't got our higher low. We have a higher low here, but this tiny higher low compared to this massive T, this massive M, and this massive L isn't really working for me. So we still have to do a big macro higher low for this T, M, and L. But there's still a good move ahead, because right now we are at $14. I would expect that our peak, it's a little bit too high, that our peak for our higher low is at this trend line. So $37, $35-ish. Yeah. And then you have to come down. I'm not saying it will take so long. I'm just drawing that so you can see the landmarks to your V and A. And then the really big move starts, because then you would go up to your A, breakout retest, B, pullback, C. And that's only if you're not doing the same shit like in IPO and you just go up. So A would be around 60-ish, I would expect. B around 80, 90, 70. Yeah. So let's look and zoom in what we have done. So here's on the 1 hour chart our V&A on November 21st. We did a perfect little tiny higher low, which finished somewhere in December. Then we even added a small tiny micro higher low, which also was finished in a V&A. And in the moment it was finished, merchant news. Perfect. Then we ran up. We came close to our little T landmark. So this is our A. Confirmation for this is we're taking from our low, the 0.5, and it bounced near the 0.618. Perfect. And then bounced and went. So what are our next moves? Well, most likely, in my opinion, we now start our move, if quick or slow, we will see, to our micro B, the B of our higher low, the same which we did here. Yeah? You had your V, your A, B, C. Yeah? This time just in big. Yeah? So our next target for our B is around $30. Then maybe a 0.5 pullback. So in that case, yeah, you would pull back to $19. And then you go to your C. Yeah, you won't break this trend line. You reject somewhere in here. Then you go down, lower high, midpoint T. And then we already know where we're dropping. We have to drop then under, even it's only 1 cent, under $12 and 52 cents. In the moment we did this macro higher low is finished and off we go to A. Also here to say, if you look in the past of DJT, all the run-ups, especially from your higher low finish or your A finish, are fucking quick. V, little higher low somewhere in here, fucking quick. Finish of L upside, fucking quick. Here also, finish of A, fucking quick. So the run-ups to our B and C, in my opinion, will be really quick. The pullback after that might take some time. So you can do what you want. For me personally, I wouldn't play this downside because we don't know yet how long this could take, but the upside should be fucking quick. And this thing looks... I'm sorry, I don't have an alternative right now. I'm still looking for one, but right now, it just looks too good. Yeah? Let's see. And also, for at least B, around $30, my time frame, no financial advice, would be around March, May. Latest April, I would say. Yeah. For all the other stocks. Yeah. So for FuseL, Bed Bath & Beyond, Saba, FFAI, BLNK, Neo, Plug, Bull, Unity. I will make the update video also this weekend. So don't worry, I'm not from, and for Highcraft Mining, I'm not forgetting them. This meme video is just the first one. The other one's coming tomorrow. Okay. As always, if you liked it, leave a like. The explanation video comes here, playlist here. And if you want to see more, leave an abo. Let's see if we squeeze next week. See ya.